So you're the man that rules the world.
I am not going to be a mouthpiece for language that I detest.
Hi, I'm Opie.
Welcome one and all. I'm KC.
I am a disheveled DC.
And we are two somewhat goddamn gentlemen, bringing to you this and every week a celebration of all things scarring kids and being Jeffree Star.
Yeah. What? Did you know that Chris Benoit killed his family?
Yeah,
I got
dude,
so much shit for that after, I know it wasn't last week's episode because I was in Miami. And for those of you who pay for the Patreon, you knew we still did an episode. So sorry to all those of you who don't. You didn't get an episode last week. Oh, but for those of you who are on the Patreon, thank you for showing up last week. That was a blast. 2 weeks ago, I made an ass of myself because I was, lauding Chris Benoit as like the greatest of all time. And I really didn't go into much of his faults. I blame myself doing the homework there. But yeah, it turns out he might have killed his wife and his son.
Yeah, see, you had mentioned how like his weight room and stuff, so it seemed like you had kind of knew. I'm surprised you didn't know.
It never came up. I did do some research into his kids, and because his son is trying to get into wrestling, and he's god awful, and he looks like half a retard. So that's probably why they didn't have him. But he was from the first marriage, apparently. Only the one kid from the second marriage was smashed with dumbbells or whatever the hell Chris Benoit did. I maybe put him in the crossface.
Like the crippler crossface.
I don't know.
I don't know what happened either.
Tragedy.
I didn't want to spoil it for you.
Yeah.
So
tragedy. Turns out he's not a gentleman, so that's okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Why don't you tell the goddamn gentleman who didn't join the Patreon where they should go? Sorry,
head over to there. Don't worry about that. Head over to twogoddamngentlemen.com to vote on the gentleman, as well as find a link to our Twitter, our YouTube, our Patreon. That gains you access into the live Discord during all free and bonus episodes. A Ladies of the Night is being recorded directly after this, so they'll come out at the same time. DC, if you would please read back the minutes to last week's meeting.
So I already spoiled it. Chris Benoit, not a gentleman, to the tune of -7, which is funny,
Yes,
only because Jeffree Star is also not a gentleman. We did it, Casey. We brought in two not gentlemen, but he was -12. He was less of a gentleman.
He's way worse than Chris Benoit.
He's almost twice as not gentlemanly as Chris Benoit, which says a lot about how you delivered it. So well done.
Thank you.
Or not a good job. Try harder next time. KC, I have some more bad news for you.
I'm used to that. Fine. Good. Go ahead.
Your ultimate gentleman emeritus has been dethroned. Let's get to the top three.
No way.
At number 3, we got Harry Vox, moving up little by little at 84. Number 2, Steven Crowder, plus 95. And Donald Trump, the ultimate gentleman, unseats Mel Gibson with a 143.
I think he did that. Didn't he do that last time we were here? Maybe not.
Well, we were in Miami, so it didn't count. But no, when we had retired Mel, he was still he was like 4 votes away. He was almost about to do it. He finally did it. So,
well, goodbye, Mel. It's been fun.
Yeah,
And
but your gentleman Trump
we'll
is now there. So
that's right. You want me to do? I'll do the bottom here.
Yeah, go for it.
Am I seeing? So now, with Tommy's retirement, is he still just going to be considered last place because he holds that?
So he will stay there until somebody unseats him.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
So just missing out the bottom 3 is Onision at -127, Jake Paul -176, and the active leader in the negative category is President Joe Biden at a -293.
And
Tommy Tudor,
falling
by the way,
fast.
Yeah, falling quickly, and Tommy -499, so it's in play, maybe.
It is in play.
There's only got to be a couple weeks left, right?
2, yes, because today we are retiring episode 8. Next week will be 9, and then it's the presidents. So Donald Trump could retire as number 1. We got to get Joe Biden down That'd be hilarious. There's so many updates on that guy. There's another one today. I got another one today on him. I mean, he just cannot stop doing stupid shit. So, yeah, let's vote him down. He's only 107 away from glory. So
it's impressive, and it's something that I think if we all strive for together, we can accomplish.
And we're open about how you can cheat in our vote. So just do it. It's fine. Just sit there forever and just, make a bot. Create a bot to vote Joe Biden down into the millions and have him taste his own medicine.
There's no better way to give back, I think, DC.
There isn't. Now, Casey, I teased it a little bit. We got a couple updates before our retirees. If you'll pull up for me, well, actually, you know what? I'll give the Russell Greer update first. I know Russell Greer's retired, but there is some news on the Russell Greer front. We mentioned that he sued Kiwi Farms and that it was in appeals. The judge has finally come back denying Russell Greer's motion to extend. The case is over. They are the random people online are not responsible for his many damages that he was somehow unable to prove. It's a shame, but he is not deterred, Casey. He is filing another motion, and he's filing it against a well-known entity that is going to be hilarious. Have you ever heard of America's Got Talent?
Oh, no.
Russell Greer is suing America's Got Talent for not accommodating him as a handicapped person well enough by not giving him a band or something to play with because his mouth is always open. I don't know how those things are related, but apparently they are, and he's going to be suing them. So
they required that he brought his own like basketball and line sweat cleaner. Like they were like, you got to bring a guy, and he's got to be in front of the. He's like, I can't afford that.
My fingers cannot play the keyboard with all this cellophane over it, guys. It just doesn't work. Well, Russell, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to make it work because you're actively doing the opposite by playing it without that cover on it.
Russell, good luck, man.
Yeah, so that's the Russell Greer news. Go ahead and roll the video. Joe Biden's up to it again, doing one of his favorite things of all time.
I used to love to drive. They don't let me drive anymore. I have a beautiful Corvette sitting in my garage.
Why? Why is this our president? Why? Why is he sniffing?
There are worse stages after that. It's, like...
Oh, my God. Anyway.
Not with the kid sniffing. That's been equally bad the whole time.
Yeah, kid sniffing's bad. Casey, without further ado, let's retire our episode 8, gentlemen. I'll go first. I was really excited to see where this guy ended up. Counted the votes. It's been a while. I've let the votes go, I'll be honest, in the middle. But I went back and got a final count on this guy, and I was so happy. It is none other than John Bulla finishing at a +8, Casey. He's finished a gentleman. After getting downvoted so goddamn far before his death. Voting works, people. Voting works.
That is a comeback story for the ages on this show.
It is, but he is still very dead.
Was oh man, go back and watch some of those clips on YouTube of John Bull yelling at his neighbors and stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah, he's a terrible guy, but he's dead. So
yeah, he was a terrible guy.
Rest in peace. +8. And your gentleman from episode 8, KC, John Edwards. You got anything to say about John?
No, he's still. He's still out there doing whatever John Edwards does.
Raising money for cancer awareness.
He's not making a lot of news, and as far as I know, he doesn't have a Twitter, because that's all I follow on Twitter are my gentleman nominations.
There you go.
Which, by the way, Randy Quaid. Oh man,
good.
What a follow.
I think you talked me into it, Casey.
Yep.
I think you talked me into it. All right, man. It's your open, so go ahead and close out of my shit. Head on over to yours.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. This one comes out of our Gentleman Nominations channel on the Discord. It was submitted by the great Mike B.
Hell yeah.
And tonight, I will be bringing to you, DC, the great, for lack of a better adjective that I didn't just use, Lenny Dykstra.
I've heard of Lenny Dykstra. I feel like I should know more about him, but I don't, so I'm excited. Because he's a Met, so who gives a fuck?
You're about to know more about him, so get excited. DC, his nickname was Nails. Or is Nails. He's not dead. And it's Nails because he is tough as shit.
Okay.
He is just hard-headed as fuck and really a fascinating gentleman.
Okay.
He was a loner growing up, obsessed with baseball. He never went to dances at school. He never had like friends to go to parties with or anything like that. Never had a girlfriend. He claims to usually have had one friend. That way he had somebody to play catch with. Like he was like a smaller kid. But anyway, that can work. Just being solely focused and completely weird as I fight back a sneeze. He gets drafted.
He sounds like a little pain in the ass.
Yeah,
Wouldn't get along with anybody. You hated him.
That could be true, DC. He gets drafted in 85 by the great New York Mets. 5'10" and 165 pounds. He was a very small utility player when he went in, but he could hit like crazy, and he was super underrated when he got to the majors because of his size. In his senior year of high school, he hit over 500, yet was not drafted until the 13th round, or the 15th round by the Mets. But he was an insane player. He was completely fearless. He always had a shit ton of chewing tobacco in his mouth, which you can see beautifully pictured there.
Yep. He's a ginger. Okay, it's all coming together now. Okay.
It's starting to make a little more sense. So he was always talking a ton of shit. And he was going to reach his goals by any means necessary. He skipped college, went straight to, I think, AAA, maybe AA at the very beginning of that first year. But either way, he claims that he never read a book for his whole career, which I believe. But the reasoning behind it is because he didn't want to hurt his eyesight for hitting. He was worried about that. Like, that's how obsessive he was, or he just didn't like reading.
Yeah.
So
probably a little of both. A
little of both. He joins the Mets in 85 in the minors, and then in that first year gets called up. First game, Fenway Park, hits a home run.
Wow, that's
his
huge.
First major league hit. He sticks with the team, and this is one of the craziest teams ever. The 85-86 Mets with Gooden, Strawberry, Wally Backman. Now you had Lenny Dykstra to the mix. This is a volatile place. Well, not Lenny. He's pretty mild-mannered at the beginning here. But he did stay out of that party lifestyle in 85 as a rookie. He was very dedicated to baseball, very solely focused. And while he wasn't an everyday player, he was always going to hit leadoff when he did play. He played a lot, and he was electric every time. In 86, when the Mets went into the playoffs, he was the NLCS MVP. And later, he called one of the Red Sox players, Bill Buckner, he called his mother a whore at the perfect time in the World Series and actually helped them win. So it was a really good job by him. Isn't that
what happened? That moment? That's what happened?
Isn't that what happened? Lenny Dykstra distracted him, I think.
I think
is what
so.
happened.
Somebody distracted him, I hope.
That's right. So he was a pain in the ass. He was hard-headed. He was just a pain in the ass. In fact, he was in baseball actively for around 10 years. At one stretch, 5 straight years, he was voted most hated player. So he's got the accolades to go with it. Not just the NLCS MVP, but hated by everybody, including his manager, Davey Johnson, who never would make him a regular starter. And Lenny would argue with him for the first 4 years of his career. I'm above average player. Put me in the lineup. And he doesn't hold a grudge about this. When he's asked about Davey Johnson now, 30 years later, he usually just says that he's a terrible person and a terrible manager and an alcoholic. So
but he doesn't get personal.
He's good with it. So he complained enough, and around 1989, I think at the beginning of that season, maybe over the winter break before, he complains enough, and the Mets trade him in the division to the Phillies. They're like, we fucking hate this guy. Enough of your complaining. Go to the Phillies, where he's given a chance to play every day, and it goes terribly because he's a tiny little guy. and he chucks himself into every slide head first to every wall in front of him. And 162 games is a lot for a little fella like that. So by the end of the season, he's beaten, battered. He didn't play that well because he's hurt the whole season. He's down to 150 pounds at the end of the year.
But
and
that
he's
was mostly the coke.
Yeah, that wasn't helping. It wasn't helping. He's heading into a contract year as well after this next one. So you're a baseball player in the 90s, early 90s, and you need to get better. So what do?
You go visit the doctor.
You work out a ton.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Like
Like a ton. Like you really love it.
Here's a picture, one season apart, DC, of him with the Mets at the end of one year and the Phillies at the end of the next.
Cool. Where he's like so muscular he can't open his eyes all the way, can't close his mouth.
Or 2 years apart.
His arms, arms look like they're just about to explode with veins.
Yes, he looks
great.
Fine.
Looks fine.
So in that contract year, amazingly, he plays every game. He doesn't play 162, but he's an everyday player, stays healthy, and leads the league in hits, on-base percentage, and was an all-star.
Miracle.
Yeah, a miracle. Earns himself a 5-year deal, finally making big money. And then it's 1991. And that's bad. Because now he's rich.
Lockout.
And well, no, that's
Right?
94.
Oh, that's 94. Getting ahead of myself.
So he's rich now, and he's this dedicated kid, just in love with the game persona, is fading away and being overrun by some gentlemanly activities. In that next offseason, he loses $80,000 gambling. Wow, DC, impressive.
Oh, what do you know? Tale as old as 90s.
1 month into the season, he goes to, you remember John Kruk, ESPN
Of course.
guy. John Kruk had his bachelor party, and
Jesus.
Lenny went and then left and ended up in the hospital for 3 weeks with his car looking like that. It says, I would have died that night if it weren't for steroids. So thank God he was on steroids.
See? Another miracle.
So, freshly healing collarbone from this accident, he goes back to baseball and runs directly into the outfield wall, collarbone first, and ends his season. As you do.
As you do.
Next season, first at bat, gets hit on the hand, breaks his hand, and is on and off the injured list for the rest of the year.
Okay.
So 91 wasted, 92 wasted. 1993, make it or break it. Needs a big year. So he says, what can I do to get an edge?
More doctor visits.
More doctor visits, but also let's blackmail some umpires. Right? So he's got all this money, and he says, all right, I'm going to spend $500,000 on private detectives. And he has these detectives follow a bunch of umpires around. And he finds out which ones are gamblers, which ones are cheating on their wives, which ones are gay. And if he's in an at-bat... and
those are the ones that'll do anything. I mean, they're already sucking dicks. They will cheat in a baseball game. Hey, we don't care.
That'll be fine?
That'll be fine.
So, if he's having an at-bat that's not going well, right, he gets a call he doesn't like, he might turn around and be like, how's Toby? And then turn back and be like, the umpire's like, how's he know? Right? So, umpire gets spooked. Just a little nugget of information. And it turned out that it was a good year for him in 1994. He led the league in walks that year, oddly enough. Also, at-bats, runs, and hits, and finished second in the MVP race because doctor visits also help.
Yeah, that's true.
Doctor visits also help. So, once again, he gets through another contract year and signs a 4-year deal, becoming the highest paid Philly to date at the time. So now Lenny's got some real cash. So he starts taking private jets everywhere. And as he talks about it now, it was the only time he wasn't drunk or high because knowing he was on his own private jet was like high in it of itself. He's like, this is good enough. I know this is my jet. But then he'd get off the jet and be like, now I need more shit. Yeah. So he claims that at the time he was taking 30 Vicodin before each game. He 30? Thought he was Yeah, that's what he says. He said that there were multiple times that he was pretty sure he was just going to die during the game. He's like, this might be it. Road games. Here's some gentlemanly shit, DC. On road games, he wouldn't stay with the team. Instead, he would book a suite and have his people just invite a shit ton of people to come party up there. That way, he didn't have to go to the bar after the game. He could just get out and go to his room.
Perfect.
The bar is there.
Right.
Genius move. And then they're all in your room when you're ready for bed, which is even better.
Done.
So the private jets, all the parties and stuff. He's getting some notoriety, some famous friends. He's friends with Mickey Rourke. He's friends with the Ultimate Gentleman, DJT.
There you go.
Friends with Charlie Sheen, who we may or may not have nominated at some point.
No. Well, did you do him in your short list, like with Michael Richards? Or was that Tom Cruise?
I think that was Tom. Oh yeah, that was the Oprah and
Yeah,
Tom Cruise Club.
yeah, that was Tom Cruise. Anyway, no,
And the
he's on the
Scientology.
short list. Sheen's coming in.
Okay, so here's how out there Dykstra was. He was in Germany, and he saw this dog. This lady is walking her dog, and he's like, "I want that dog. That dog's awesome." And he says to his friend, he's like, "I bet you I can get that woman to sell me her dog." And he was able to for like
course.
$75,000.
Yeah,
He bought this dog.
women are terrible people. We know that. They will
That's right.
sell their children to you. He's lucky. She's lucky that it wasn't a child, or he is. It might have been more expensive.
Here's the best part. I mentioned that he was in Germany when this happened. It is a German Shepherd, and he said it was definitely worth it. It's a German Shepherd.
Yep, definitely worth it.
That's a gentleman right there, DC.
Those are the properly bred ones.
So those blonde hair, blue eyed German Shepherds.
I don't know what you're talking about. Disavow.
So now a gentleman goes around. He gets dogs in Germany. He never rests. And he starts a chain of very successful car washes in the West.
I think I did hear
West.
about that. Oddly enough,
Really?
Maybe
Well, you
because
were
it was
out there.
west.
Yeah, you were out there for that. So he starts the car washes up. He's still playing in 94. You mentioned the strike. The strike happens. He was playing really well that year. But then 95 comes back, injuries, but not really a big deal at this point because now he's businessman, right? So he's retired from baseball. He focuses basically on making money and then spending that money on parties and planes.
Yep.
So he executes quite a few very nifty, very, very legal business deals
I thought that's what you were gonna say.
and eventually sells the car wash business. And now he's worth $60 million. The man has done well. And by the way, those big contracts in the 80s, 90s, it was like 4 years, 14 million or some shit, right?
I
So
know.
it's-
And
Yeah,
they
I
were,
know
like,
you knew, but
Stoked.
Yeah.
Freaking stoked.
That
They're
was
like,
huge.
Yes.
It's huge money. So the 60 number, that's got to be like a LeBron half a bill contract, right?
Right.
So when he gets to this number, that's when the bad things start to happen.
Oh boy.
He goes through to 1999. He gets charged with sexual battery and child annoyance, which is a hysterical name for a crime.
Hopefully not at the same time.
At the same time, she was a teen that worked for him. He grabbed her by the breast. DC, you can't do it.
Oh. That was an interesting way to describe that incident. By
Sexual
charges.
battery and child annoyance. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like get off my tit.
Not the picture. Yeah.
Stop it.
I thought he was like too aggressive with a kid's mom and the kid got annoyed.
Get off my mommy.
Shut up or I'll hit her again. Whack. That's annoying.
So charges get dropped from that, so no big deal. Things are fine. Kind of, maybe not. There's quite a few former associates now coming forward and employees that are starting to sue him. And his brother's one of them. And his brother goes, "Yeah,
Good.
he brought me in as 10% of the company, and then he just like fired me, and then the next day he sold the company." So I'm not really sure what happened there, but I didn't get any money for it. So he comes in, he sues his brother.
Right.
He's accused of betting on games that he played in. So as anybody who's going through all these legal issues does, DC, the best thing to do is double down and get into stock trading.
Yep.
And for some reason, I don't know if he's a Mets fan, but Jim Cramer is a fucking moron. And it's like, this guy is the best stock guy. He described him as one of the great ones. Like, he was hyping this guy up on TV all the time.
Okay.
He's like, Lenny Dykstra is fucking good at this shit. So they work together and build up Lenny's credibility to the point where he can now have $1,000 a year memberships for his stock tips for people.
Oh my gosh.
He claimed and accurately had a 445-1 record on selling when ahead.
Oh, wow.
So Lenny was
That's
amazing.
Incredible. Yeah.
It is. So he gained thousands of subscribers and millions of dollars in loans from different banks that are seeing what he's doing.
Well, that doesn't sound like a good...
It's not,
good
because
recipe.
Lenny didn't really know what the hell he was doing. In fact, he was copying down stock picks that one of his friends was making and had his own little system on how he was keeping up this record, which was he would buy a stock, and then as soon as it made a profit, he would sell it immediately.
Okay.
And if it lost money, he would just wait for it to get back up above to a profit and then sell it immediately.
So he traded stocks, in other words.
But if he didn't, but if it didn't get back up to that neutral number or in the green again, or the black,
he just held on to it and
He just
wouldn't
kept
say that he never sold it below.
he just kept it.
Right.
So he technically was 445-1 because he still owned all of the other stock that was either dead or floundering.
Right.
So
Which just happened to be 800 and something.
somehow he ends up broke.
Ah.
He was great at getting loans from people, and he was better at not paying them back. Between 2007 and 2009, he got sued 24 times.
Ooh.
From
Jesus, dude, just the legal fees of that alone.
just-
You're done after 2. After 2 lawsuits, you're done. 22 later, you've killed yourself. 22 lawsuits ago.
he's still he's still kicking DC. He gets sued by family, business partners, escorts, private jet companies, and pilots, attorneys, employees. He still is taking private
Some German
jets.
lady.
Some German, yeah. Give me back my dog.
That was great.
It was more Russian, wasn't it? He is still taking private jets everywhere. Mm-hmm. He is just now charging them to other people, like his employees or his mother, or the pilot. But he charged a few of the private planes to the guys flying the plane, which is
that's funny.
hilarious. 2009 files for bankruptcy. Mm-hmm. He does something really smart before that, though, and he's like, all right, so they're going to come through, they're going to audit everything I have, figure out how much, this is all worth here. Mm-hmm. I got like $500,000 worth of shit I can just destroy, and they'll never know it existed. So he does that, he destroys all that shit, and then he files for bankruptcy, which is not, strictly speaking, legal.
Right.
He also, around this time, said, I'm kind of running out of money, so all of the employees that he had, he just stops paying them, who don't treat him with the respect that he deserves, in my opinion, and they turn on him like traitors.
Oh,
like,
it's awful.
What the fuck? His maid comes forward and says that she had to blow him every Saturday. Like,
had to.
That's what she said. He would make her do that every Saturday. Quite a few of the escorts accused him of stealing their credit card or not paying them. And
that's ironic. Steal the escort's credit card.
He stole from the escorts, yes. So he was also busy on Craigslist, DC. He was searching out maids and personal assistants because he could afford to pay them. And maybe he couldn't because he might have had ulterior motives because he was always naked whenever the personal assistants or the maids would show up. So
sure.
I don't think any of them got hired full time. He was just asking for a massage. And to be fair to him, this only happened 6 times and only once with a knife. So it's
So it's almost like he didn't do any at all. It
So
rounds to 0. 6 rounds to 0.
It basically didn't happen. All of his homes are seized, and they all look like hoarders' houses.
Oh,
including he had bought a house from Wayne Gretzky for like $18 million.
That's funny.
There was flooring torn up, missing toilets, no furniture, empty bottles and cans everywhere, surrounded by animal waste, mold, and the seepage from the leaky pipes coming from the ceilings and the walls.
And naked Lenny Dykstra.
The worst part.
The worst part.
He kept on taking loans, but now he had wisened up to the loan taking thing. He's like, I'm not taking those in my name anymore. That's stupid. He just starts taking.
They keep
in other
saying
people's
no.
names. Yeah. He just takes them in other people's names now, and he gets some really cool cars with the money that he gets out of that. And unfortunately, for some of this, Lenny was kind of being watched by the FBI. They were just keeping tabs on what Lenny was up to, and he was up to a bit. So, in 2011, Lenny's arrested and charged with bankruptcy fraud, obstruction of justice, and multiple counts of concealing property, embezzlement, and making false statements. Also, there were other cases involving indecent exposure, grand theft auto, and drug possession. Lenny was facing 80 years and privileged to only serve 3, basically acquitted.
Basically acquitted, yeah.
Basically acquitted. He did suffer in prison, though. He fought with the guards and claims that they came into his cell singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" and beat him half to death, knocked all his teeth out, and gave him severe brain damage. That's what he claims. He doesn't sound a lot different coming out.
Yeah.
I think the guards
Knocked
came back
all
out.
his teeth out?
When accused, the guards said, we did mess with his teeth. That's true. Yeah, the teeth are worse than they were before. But the brain, that didn't change.
That was fine.
He spent most of his time in solitary. And since then, actually, things have gone really well since he got out. There's only been a couple accusations of theft since he got out. There was only one terrorist threat to an Uber driver. And he's only been charged with drug possession single-digit times since then. So life is pretty good. In 2017, he proved that, and you can see the picture of him, he's getting up there. I think this was 2016. So a year after this, he's with multiple women, and they trash a hotel room together, right? Still getting after it. He's also charged because on the way out after causing this disturbance, he is charged with stealing the glasses of the receptionist. He's like, gotta take those.
She was probably being mouthy.
That's right.
Say, shush. Take these.
Right off her face.
Right off her face.
So,
puts them on upside down, just laughs and leaves.
So he's currently $30 million in debt. He told Howard Stern that he serves sometimes as an escort to elderly women.
Oh.
You know, as you do. You remember Bagel Boss, the little guy?
Yes.
Who's all
yeah,
mad?
I do.
Lenny tried to get in a fight with, or like do a professional boxing match with that guy.
Cool.
But he was being sued, so he couldn't make it, that's the fight he dodges. Dodges the Bagel Boss. I couldn't believe that.
He would have murdered that guy.
Screech showed up before he died to fight the Bagel Boss in his stead, but Bagel Boss no-showed, which makes sense.
Fucking just Diamond or whatever. Was
Dustin
that guy's
Diamond,
first
yeah.
name? Dustin Diamond, yeah. He would have killed Bagel Boss.
Yeah.
He's like a professional, right? Hasn't he done like professional boxing shit?
He did professional pornography, I believe. I don't know about boxing.
No.
He might have done both.
Yeah.
Good news, DC, because this doesn't happen all the time with my gentleman. He's still out there and he's still doing the damn thing. So hopefully there are updates to come. Lenny Dykstra, a goddamn gentleman.
Dude, that's great.
Thank you, Mike B. I really enjoyed that. All right, DC, I've got some honoraries, some people that did not quite make the cut. First off, Angry Man. Well, he's angry.
So I'm driving home from a chiropractor appointment. I never actually had it because I left. Because here's the deal. I show up, I'm in the parking lot, call him up. Oh, you don't have to call us ahead of time. Okay. So I go in. No signs up about masks. No one's wearing masks. I got mine on, but okay. But then I see it. An advertisement for somebody running for the local school board taped to the reception desk so everybody can see it. Bullet points are constitutional rights.
Oh, the sons of bitches.
Oh, constitutional rights. What is this? Not Sudan? I thought we were in Sudan. Jesus Christ, idiot.
All right. There's more. He was upset about more than that. I just thought that's great that that's where he started. He continues.
Yeah.
Freedom of choice, blah, blah, blah.
Two examples.
Taped to the desk at a reception of a freaking doctor's office. I mean, okay, chiropractor, they're not really doctors. But still,
He's a doctor.
what
He
the
will.
hell?
Yeah.
Why do I have to make the decision to leave the fucking office because you are an idiot? I am so fucking tired of this.
I don't know what he's tired of. I'm very
I have
confused.
I have no idea.
He's tired of doctors' offices allowing people to put up flyers, I think.
Yeah, he's tired of private businesses decorating things with stupid things like politics. I don't know why anybody would do that in their business, because you're just going to alienate whatever. It doesn't matter, you know?
Yeah, you could have had this guy's money, and now you don't have it. Look what you did. DC, he
You
does
could have
have
had this guy coming back all the time. He seems like a great guy. Fantastic, fun guy.
He does have a message of peace that I think will turn into a clip that you and I might use again on this show.
Okay.
Fuck you!
No, okay. Maybe not.
Fuck you, chiropractor.
Fuck you. You're not a doctor. So, I'm not sure if this is Australia or New Zealand, and I'm not sure how it's going to translate. With good headphones on, playing it here, it sounds great. But it's a guy in a store.
Okay.
And it's either New Zealand or Australia. I don't know which. He is in some kind of a Home Depot, Lowe's looking place.
Okay.
And it seems like he's being escorted out, presumably for not either being vaccinated or wearing a mask. In this case, I believe it's vaccinated. And he has a megaphone, DC, and he's a goddamn gentleman.
Oh, it's Australia then.
Stick your vaccine mandate, you can stick your vaccine mandate up your arm. You can stick your vaccine mandate up your arm.
Can you understand him?
I can't hear it. I can't hear what he's saying. I can hear somebody yelling over the loudspeaker, but is he like chanting something?
Yeah. Stick your vaccine mandate. You can stick your vaccine mandate up your ass as he gets walked out of the store. Which, by the way, he missed the last word, so Casey's angry.
That is funny though. That's great.
It was good, and I assume that he just brought it in there for a bit. But if he found a megaphone in the store and then did that,
yeah, that'd be great. And if they escorted him out and he didn't have to pay for it,
Yeah,
so
he
he just
just
got like a
kept
free
it.
megaphone.
all right, DC, last one for me, I believe. Yep, last one for me. This gentleman is standing by a door, and he is alerted to a thief approaching from behind.
That he is.
On the internet.
So there you go. We had to bring it back.
Good commentary. That was great.
Yeah. JBL, he's everywhere. You got to watch out for that fucking guy.
That was great.
So there you go, DC. That is it for me.
All right, Casey, I've got a shit ton of honoraries. So let's get started. Casey, the first honorary video, I went ahead and captioned great security guard. I give this guy top marks.
Oh, he slept him.
One
My
punch.
God. And then just out. Out.
Ragdolls him.
You got to
So
get
great.
out. Sorry.
Perfect. That guy was shortly fired, of course, shortly after fired. Casey, have you ever heard of protesters?
I have, yes.
Have you ever heard they like to block the road and shit like that?
They love fucking with traffic. They do.
They love fucking with traffic and standing in the middle of the road. They also love trees. They used to love trees, and they would just chain themselves to trees so that you couldn't chop them down. The tree choppers were like traffic back then, just had something that had to be done for the sake of society. But anyway, road people, they can't just handcuff themselves necessarily to the road. But Casey, they can glue themselves to the road. Next clip.
Cut my hair by my temple.
Right.
Because my face was totally glued.
Right.
But now I've worked most of that off.
Oh, why?
What? Yeah. Well, if I super glue my whole face to the street, then they can't forcibly remove me. I wish that first security guard was there. He would have just grabbed him by his neon jacket and just rip right off the fucking pavement. Just left half his face. He's just looking like fucking Harvey Dent.
Oh my God.
Walking around like, ah. That would have been great. But alas,
did we affect change? Did we fix anything?
So the journalist who is interviewing him actually is a surprise honorary of the day. Go ahead, next clip.
Do you regret the gluing? Are you
Yeah, it's not one of my better moves. Yes.
Awesome. Do you regret the gluing?
Fucking asthmatic, laying there with his face glued to the ground. What a fucking
He's got
idiot.
his little inhaler right next to him.
And you know that when he first glued his face down there, the inhaler was not there. He was panicking and couldn't breathe anymore. He's like,
And he's just making it worse.
I need to get my, and he's down like this. And he's just glued to the road trying to breathe.
Well, his hand was glued. I think his hand was glued next to his face. So they probably had, somebody else had to come. Presumably, one of the people he was protesting against, which is ironic.
Not one of my better moves.
Not one of my better moves. Casey, number 3's honorary. We've got everyone's favorite.
Yes, let's go.
Go ahead, pause it there. Pause it there, Casey. This guy goes down a huge water slide, and I don't know if he was trying to stand up and go down, or if he was sitting up or something. But he hit his head on the back of this slide and knocked himself out, launching himself 20 feet in the air, and then just going straight down on his head. Why don't you rewind it a little bit? I gotta see that again. It's so funny.
I missed him hitting his head.
Yeah, you miss it. The front of the slide blocks it. You have to imply it because he just goes limp
straight out. Oh my god.
And Casey, just let the video play through because they found this guy later at the water park at the wave pool.
Que as águas cristalinas possam limpar todas as nossas.
Yeah, I had to do it.
Holy shit, that's funny.
All right, Casey. Number 5 honorary. This is a little adventure in Casey driving box trucks. If you've been following along with this podcast at all, you know there's some good stories about Casey driving box trucks.
There's one good story.
There's one good story. And ones that I attribute to him in my mind every time I see that someone hit those things. Number 1, Casey, I imagine you being the driver of this truck. Go ahead and play the first little bit. There's 3 teenagers or whatever on skateboards.
Hitching a ride on the truck.
Good idea, right? Fantastic idea.
Yeah, it's not.
At a certain point, Casey, if you were driving this truck and you realize now that these 3 are on the back of your truck.
Brakes,
right. And we saw that kind of at the end of that first clip, right? He was braking hard, trying to get them to slam. But they hang on. What's the next move? Dump them, right?
Whip him into the next lane, right?
Casey, next clip, please. Nothing wrong with that.
Get off the bumper.
Get off the bumper.
Although, in that situation, I would be actually enjoying that. Be like, yeah, come on, let's go. You little get up to 50. Get up to 50 and then ease them off. Send them into an abutment.
So that was a little bit of an exaggeration. I get it. The next box truck driver. This is how Casey really would drive. Next image.
Shit.
Or next clip, rather.
Oh, yeah, that is not gonna fit. Not gonna fit. Not gonna fit. Not gonna fit.
Looking out the window like that's going to help. Oh!
Didn't fit.
Nailed it. KC, he was very, very determined not to be, stopped by this pipe. But it got a little bit long, so I sped it up. Next clip. I sped it up for everybody. You can see kind of how they...
Yeah, it looks like a sprinkler piping. Right? Oh, what, so you hit the side too? Oh my god! Oh! No.
Good idea. The guy gets out. To look around.
Investigate.
It's a good idea. Why can't we move? What's going on? Probably should have done that before even entering the garage to say, nah, no, don't go in here. But it's too late for that. The guy gets out, and Casey, keep going. Let's roll this footage here. This might have been one of the closest calls of all time. Oh no!
Is that the sewage pipe?
That's the sewage pipe, dude.
Oh, no. No.
So gross. And here's how the rest of the video went. Go ahead and hit play. Let's see if they get out of this mess.
Now the sprinklers are on, washing the truck off.
Then someone goes around. Someone went in. Nailed it. Awesome.
Just leave. Just leave.
I don't think they could have done better, Casey.
Oh,
all right, number 7. This is gonna be this next thing I'm gonna do, Casey. Is something an honorary segment I like to call freeze frame. All right. There's a lot of videos that I go through, a lot, and a bunch of them I just have to at some point in the video say, no, I can't make Casey watch that. I'm not gonna. Yeah, you got to toss that video aside. That one can't come in. But you know what, Casey? I could freeze frame the moment right before I realized, this is a video Casey won't like. Next image, please. I didn't bring this video in for you. I thought that might be, you can pause it there. That might be a video that Casey could give a miss, Yeah,
I'll go ahead and not see that one. Oh.
Poor technique in using the equipment. That roll stationary pad should be a little higher in the knee.
Unless your goal is to snap your fucking shin bones, in which case, perfect form.
He nailed it. Perfect form, dude. Grab another plate. Oh, so yeah, that guy's legs shattered, but not a great idea, Casey. This next.
Hate it.
This next video, these people were having some fun with a hot air balloon, which usually these kind of videos I see and I'm like, oh, this is going to end bad. But go ahead, next video, and you tell me if you get the same kind of feeling about it. It's an unmanned fire under the balloon in a basket, kind of just self-floating balloon.
It's unmanned?
It's unmanned. It's unmanned, and it's got like things hanging from it, like tassel-y decoration things hanging from it, right? But as I was watching further, those things looked like they were smoking. And I was like, uh-oh, that's like, is there an electric line nearby?
Coiler, yeah.
That's usually, something's going to go up, something's going to zap. Casey, let's see how this video quickly turned into, this is the best idea I've ever seen in my life. We need more of this. Smoke in there. Oh, Casey. It's an air raid on the neighborhood.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, that video goes on for another minute and a half of just fireworks going off in the middle of the neighborhood. It was so fucking funny. So funny.
That's brilliant.
So, best idea ever, right? Back to, again, not the best idea ever, Casey. Eating poop, right? Not the best idea ever, I'd say. But the internet is there. You might as well use it. If you want to know whether or not you should, eat poop. Go ahead, next image, I'll show you. This is a Quora question. If you're familiar with Quora, it used to be like Ask Jeeves or whatever, but real people, like Yahoo Answers, they get on and they pretend to be experts and shit. This person, Robert Jose, said, "My boyfriend wants me to eat his poop. Should I do it?" He says, I want to say yes for romance. Whatever he likes and whatever you like. But I feel I should recommend no for health reasons. Go with that instinct. I suggest waiting for a doctor to answer. I'm really not sure. So we jumped on real quick as two goddamn gentlemen because anybody can answer this. Yeah. Anybody can answer this. And I said, we're doctors. You're good to go. I feel like I hope he took my advice.
By the way, the fucking Quora person, I want to say yes for romance.
Yeah. Why else would you say yes?
Imagine
out of
just wrote
curiosity.
Back, do it. It fine. Like what? Yeah. Cora.
Do it fine. Ha ha. Like, okay. Oh God. All right, Casey, that's the end of my honorary gentleman, not a gentleman amongst them. But there is one that I took from gentleman nominations from none other than Patroness of Latter-day Saints. Casey, I could let him introduce himself, but he's a YouTuber douchebag, like the OG YouTuber douchebag. So all his shit that I would play here would get us kicked off of YouTube. So in a kind of revolt, in a protest of my own, this is going to be the shortest nomination of all time because I hate this guy and I hate YouTubers. So, Casey, go ahead. Next image, please. Shane Dawson. Recognize this douchebag?
I kind of recognize him, but I don't know from what.
Well, he was, like I said, one of the four horsemen of the YouTube apocalypse where everybody could just record and, like we're doing right now, wasting everybody's time with their own thoughts. But this guy got very, very popular. And in like 2008, almost the very beginning of YouTube, he had 22 million subscribers. He was going off and he was making videos doing the most retarded shit ever, eventually leading to a collaboration with one of your YouTube douches, Jeffree Star. So maybe you saw him in one of Jeffree Star's videos promoting their makeup line.
Him. Ugh.
Yeah, sure. It's douche chill inducing.
That guy. Okay, thank you, chat. Yep, that guy. I saw that part of that video. Yeah.
There you go. So there's nothing else to say, right? He did YouTube. He was an edgy comic. He would talk about how much of a pedophile he is. He would, you know what? There were 3 videos, I think, of his. Only 3 that I thought were actually okay. That's kind of funny. First video is one of them.
This is a story all about how my life got twisted upside down.
Oh, that.
What if it's just
faint? What if it's just really, really faint blackface?
What if it's just really? Then it's a little bit funny. Then it's just a little bit funny. And he changed enough of the words in the song that he could claim ignorance. So that snuck through the goalposts. Nobody said anything about it. It was long enough ago that cancel people got offended, I'm sure, but then they just commented in not funny. Like they should. Like exactly where it should stay. Not funny.
Yeah,
okay, thank you for registering your
Get back to your makeup content.
Yeah. Get back to your filing for your weekly unemployment. Good luck. Hope you get a lot this month.
Get back to chatting up 13-year-olds and stop doing blackface.
Yeah, so, that was edgy. Kind of funny. Also, you suck at blackface. Like, do it funnier. Like that.
Yeah, it was a weak weak makeup job. Remember in elementary school when you'd color with crayons? If you colored just like one swipe with the crayon along the paper, it would just be like this faint, weird, blotchy. That's kind of like what he did. Just one swipe of the crayon down his face. He's like, that's good enough.
Perfect.
That's good
Nailed
enough.
It. So in an interview, once he did his apology tour, because cancel culture caught up to him, spoiler alert. He said, quote, "Blackface is something I did a lot." That's great. I put that as his middle name, actually. Shane, quote, "Blackface is something I did a lot, Dawson." That's how I'm going to remember him. Except, actually, now that once I made the video, I was like, let's see if I can find some short shit, that I could sneak in real quick. Nothing would fucking download. I think he's got like protective layer around all his fucking videos where they don't want to admit like they promoted such a fucking douchebag. They're like, every single clip I try to take out, it's like, nah, we don't recognize this format. I'm like, okay, whatever. So there was one of them that was a tweet showing this clip from an interview he did a long time ago where he was taking a picture of himself, and this young girl, he says, was 6 or 7, he thinks, walked up to him and said, "Are you doing Snapchat?" Or Instagram or whatever. He's like, yeah, I am. And she's like, well, how many followers do you have? I have 175,000. He's like, oh, shit. I was like, we have 175. What the hell? Why? And she's like, this is my Instagram. I'm just a cheerleader. And then he talks about how fucking, like, hot she was and how sexy her Instagram was and all this shit. I'm like, hold on. Like, the very beginning of this was how she was 6 or 7. And the girl that is, like, co-hosting his podcast with him or whatever, she tries to pull the emergency brake so hard and save him. She's like, no, Shane, stop talking about this. You're gonna get arrested if you keep talking. He's like, no, listen, all I'm saying is some people have these fetishes, like foot fetishes, you know, and they can pull up videos and do all this stuff, but if you're a pedophile and you just like to pull up pictures of sexy babies, I'm like, what? And he keeps going. So, actually, as a matter of fact, let me. Oh, I don't want to do that. I want to go into the test chat. There it is. Okay, I'm gonna throw this over into the chat so everybody can know what I'm talking about at least at some point later, because it was pretty creepy. But like I said, let's not focus on the creepy stuff. I did find 3 of his videos funny. The first one we already saw. Here's the second one, and also a reason why he might have had to go back and apologize for some stuff. I don't get it. And it might be a reason why you might have to go back and do some editing, Casey. Next clip.
Oh, bitch monkey woman, you're the best!
That's...
Now, which part was more offensive? The N-word bitch or monkey woman? Which one do you think was... I'm going to say monkey woman.
Yeah, well, all 4 terms are not supposed to be used.
Because she might not have been a bitch. Oh, this is the bonus. We can say that. Casey.
It is not the bonus. Continue.
Oh, that's right. And again, he says this. That's right, because you have to go back and edit it. Whoops. Canceled. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
And that's it for Shane Dawson. That's really all I could say about the guy. He is terrible. I don't care where he was born. Probably somewhere in the Midwest from the looks of it.
He sucks.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and if you're in the Discord after the show, you can check out that link DC put in. And if you're not, DC, how do they get into the Discord to see that link that you just put there?
Go to twogoddamngentlemen.com and then go ahead and click on the Patreon link. You can donate $5 a month and get access to all of the videos the same day that the audio gets released. And if you pay $10 a month, you can watch the shows live and see all the shit in the chat and all that awesome stuff.
DC, your guy sucks. He's not a gentleman. He won't be the ultimate gentleman. Lenny Dykstra's awesome. But we know Charlie Sheen's still out there, so maybe, we gotta keep going. So the search for the ultimate gentleman, it continues.
That's it. Thank you all for coming today. That's a wrap.
There's no place in our cognitively complex society for 1 in 10 people.
I have no intention of keeping any promise that I make.
All right. All right.
Meeting adjourned.